actually, Rob was talking about the fact that Uber can be, or such company as Uber's can be considered just as apps, and that, it's valuable for an app. But actually, that's the right question. Are there only applications? Are there platforms? Are there services? Are there even more than that? That's the question we will tackle in the next session. We're going to dive into these digital channels. And for the very first session this morning, we've chosen to explore the much talked about subject about platforms. We'll try to get a better understanding on why verticals, as Rob was telling us about a few seconds ago, are developing their own solutions while internet giants are developing a more cross-cutting strategy. And to moderate this session, I will need the help of Xavier LORPHELIN, managing partner at Serena Capital. In addition to being a member of the Digiworld Institute, Xavier, you've taken a transversal approach to innovation in many different industries, and I'm really happy to have you on stage this morning. So, first, Xavier, what about your perspective on this very question of digital first when it comes to those platforms? We've seen over the past few months, over the past few weeks, that a new chapter in the platform world is unfolding.
Yes, definitely, Marjorie. And just to start, a few days ago, I read a very interesting article around the GAFA. So you know who are the GAFA, the Google, Apple, Amazon and Facebook of the world. And there was a study released by Faber Novel. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They have a yearly study called GAFAnomics. And it's quite interesting because this study is precisely what we're talking about. They're looking at how new platforms are disrupting the business world. And in fact, there were some numbers quite striking in this latest study from Faber Novel. So it's quite obvious to say that the GAFA definitely have revolutionized the digital world, and we could call them the Fantastic Four. I mean, they are the four superpowers of the digital economy. But if you look at some numbers, that gives a clear reality of who they are. I mean, the first one is cumulative revenues of the GAFA. I don't know if you're familiar with this number, but they represent $350 billion cumulative, these four guys. And another number which is quite surprising or quite shocking, would say my English friends, is if you compare the market cap of the GAFA with the market cap of the CAC 40, the CAC 40. I'm sure you're familiar with the CAC 40, which is the French stock index grouping all the top French public companies. So if you compare the two market cap, the two valuations, 1 year ago in July 2014, the market cap of the GAFA was 300 billion lower than the market cap of the CAC 40. 1 year after, in July 2015, the market cap of the GAFA was $200 billion higher than the CAC 40. So it's quite interesting to look at that and to conclude that GAFA are really able to grow very fast, create value very fast. But in fact, what's even more interesting is they're not the only ones now. In fact, the GAFA, they gave birth to new challengers that were able to create and develop new services on the top of the platforms of the GAFA or on the top of the networks of the GAFA. So here we talk about new challengers like, so it's a new acronym, the NATU, which are the Netflix, the Airbnb, the Tesla, and the Uber. You also have all what they call also the Chinese GAFA, so with Alibaba, which I remind you, it's 200 billion market cap, the Tencent, Baidu, and Xiaomi also. And then you have also this strange animal, and we call them a unicorn. For me, as a venture investor, it's a great animal.
Have you seen a lot these days?
Sorry?
Have you seen a lot these days?
Yeah, it used to be rare, but there are more and more. I don't know why. They just want to kill all the dinosaurs, I think. So these unicorns, in fact, in Europe, we have some of these unicorns. If you look at the music platforms with Deezer and Spotify, if you look at the fintech platform with Wanda, if you look also at the gaming platform with King.com, So we have this kind of unicorns. And so what's interesting is they're all playing in the same jungle. We also have to put in this jungle the Microsoft. I mean, it's a 40-year-old guy. They're celebrating 40 years anniversary this year. And let's not forget.
With a new CEO.
Sorry?
With a new CEO.
With a new CEO. And let's not forget also about Cisco and their IoT platform. And so then the question after that is, so what about all this war on platforms? What's the reason? Why are they looking at? And in fact, the game is to attract the internet user. I mean, the more the internet user is going to spend time on the platform, the more you're going to create value. In fact, the GAFA, I think they attract 50% of all the internet usage. But some others are growing very fast. I mean, look at Snapchat. In November, Snapchat, there were 6 billion videos per day on the platform, and it represented 19 minutes on the platform. And then if you look at the old dinosaurs, if we take some examples, I mean, from the Walmart, the SNCF, or Accor, there was some recent announcement, very interesting announcement from these guys. Let's look at Accor first. They just announced that they will open their booking platform to all independent hotels. So it's an open initiative. At the same time, Accor, they have a very strong partnership with TripAdvisor. They're a preferred partner of TripAdvisor. And by the way, Booking.com is also a preferred partner of TripAdvisor. So everything is connected. Let's look at SNCF also. I got a quote very interesting from Mr. Pepe at SNCF in the Financial Times, where he said, the next step is door-to-door services. We can just provide trains. We want to offer bikes, electric cars, car sharing, carpooling. We want to do absolutely everything apart from planes, fortunately. I mean, they're not going to compete with Airbus. So coming back very quickly on the Gafanomics study, there were 4 interesting rules on this study, and I really encourage you to look at this study. I mean, you can have the slide available on SlideShare. There were 4 very interesting rules describing how GAFA are able to win on the market. The first one is a rule regarding small is big. What that means is the GAFA and the peers, they're able to create a lot of value from small economical units. Let's look at Facebook, for example. I just look at the ARPU for Facebook in the US. And if you look at this ARPU in the US, and if you compare between 1 year ago and today, the ARPU from Facebook on a US average user increased from $7.4 1 year ago to more than close to $10 today. And they have more than 200 million users. So not a lot of economical, unit value, but at the end, it's pretty big. I was an investor in La Fourchette, which is a booking platform for restaurants. We were charging €2 per seat. Not a lot, but at the end, when there are a lot of bookings done on the platform, you generate a lot of value. The second rule is real time. You need to be able to address the market real time and change your product real time. And a good example is Amazon. They're charging their price 2.5 million times a day. It's quite impressive also. Third rule, very quickly, the third rule is infinite, which means that you need to be able to grow very fast at a zero marginal cost. And a good example is Waze. They have tens of millions of users, and whenever they get a new user, it's no cost for them, and they get value out of that. And the fourth rule is intimate, which means that you need to have an intimate knowledge of your customer. So once you know all these rules, the next question is who is going to win the game? But in fact, I think more interesting question.
Do you have the answer?
Yeah. No, I don't have the answer. But more interesting question is who is going to survive?